Chelsea Richardson, and I am presenting on my interview I conducted with two teachers for lesson planning. Teachers, one a fifth grade English and social studies teacher who will also be my mentor when I do student teaching in March. Also a second teacher who is a special education teacher in grades 3 through 5 who is my current supervisor. I noticed that there's two very different styles for planning with these two, and I got some very good information from both. Slide my main questions. So when you should plan. So for regular classes, you're going to build a year-long curriculum map. It shows you ideas of how long your unit length is going to be, when you are going to be presenting those ideas. You can put in your testing, you can put in breaks, anything that might affect when you're going to be teaching a specific lesson. And then usually you plan your detailed lessons within a week. It varies depending on the length of the unit. You might have to plan further ahead for those larger projects, especially if you're going to need supplies from parents or kids need to bring in technology, that sort of thing. For the special education classroom, you don't really do the year-long curriculum map because you're going off of your regular classroom teacher. So you plan usually about a week in advance for your detailed curriculum. And for the regular classroom, my mentor said that your curriculum mapping can really be done right after your current school year so that next year you already have your main map done, and when things change, you don't have a ton of specific curriculum for each unit completed in case anything changes over the summer or even during the school year. So with a regular classroom teacher, it's very important to plan as a team. My mentor in fifth grade says they know exactly what's going on in each class because your science unit might build on her English unit. That English unit might reflect in the math unit. So knowing what's going on in each class is really important because they can feed off of each other. In the SPED classroom, it's also very important to plan with the regular teachers because they like to pre-teach anything that might be difficult for their specific kids, anything that they might need some extra time or just to be able to introduce it before they see it in the regular classroom so they know what's going on. The regular teachers and SPED teachers at my school do have regular PLP meetings so that they can create those personal learning plans for the students. And so submitting formal lesson plans and specific formatting is not really required for my district, also for our school. So we don't have a specific lesson planning format for either of those. However, when you do have observations, you have 2 a year for the first 2 years that you're a new teacher, and this is just to make sure that you understand how to lesson plan and that you are doing it properly. My school specifically will require weekly lesson plans being submitted if you are really just kind of lost and you're not understanding how things are working in the classroom and they aren't going the way you want them to, or if it's very clear that you're just not preparing for class and you're just winging it. This is what my mentor teacher told me to do when you're actually sitting down and planning for your specific lesson. Make a T-chart. On one side, have what you are going to exactly say. On the other side, have exactly what you want the student to respond and what you want them to say in regards to what you asked or what you said. After the lesson, reflect on that. Write down what the student actually said. How can you change what you said to get the proper response? What can you change to keep the students more engaged? What worked? What didn't work? Everything is important when you're reflecting on your lesson. Is takeaways. So these are just kind of the little tidbits that were thrown out that didn't really fit in one of my questions that I asked. So always plan for more than you expect, just in case. It's always better to be more prepared than underprepared. Reflect, review, and grow. This is huge because you being a teacher is not just teaching, it's also learning what works and what doesn't. Having sentence starters written. So knowing that I want to talk about a specific subject, make sure I write down a few sentence starters so that I don't get totally off topic. Have the questions that you want students to answer written down. So again, just making sure you're hitting on those key points in class because you can get up there and totally freeze and just everything you planned to say does not come out the way you want it to. Use assessments to plan. This helps with timing. So when you're planning those units, how long should you be spending on each subject? What do the students know already? What don't they know? What do they definitely need extra help on? Those types of things. Plan with your team. Your team can be your biggest support. Scale. So using small groups to scale works great. So you can kind of group those kids who are behind together, or maybe the ones that are behind and ahead, so that the ones who are ahead can help the kids who are behind. So there's all different kinds of ways you can structure that. Lessons will always fluctuate, and everything will not go as you expected. Be flexible. So you might plan like what you think is going to be an amazing lesson and it falls flat. So it can go either way for you. Um, it's just making sure that you can adapt in those situations. Thank you.